Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, this is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st through the 10th, 2018 reading for you. Now I've shuffled and meditated upon the cards, so we are going to see what these 10 days have in store for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, and if you would like to book a private reading with me, all that information will be in the description box below. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, this is a progression of self. I mean, you're going from being a student to being a master of knowing your mind and what you want and where you're going in your life. So for that sake right there, that's beautiful. Also, some of you are finding a partner who is going to match you kind of intellectually, step for step, is going to have as quick a wit and be wanting the same things that you desire to create and that you have been trying to cultivate within your mind, but within your existence too. Because the first change that happens is within our thoughts, and then it kind of permeates outward. Okay, so your first card here is the Page of Swords. This is a messenger card. This is also a student card. You are learning. You are learning what you want from life. You're learning the mastery of your own mind and how to wield your thoughts almost, I want to say as weapons, but not in such a harsh sense, as if to sit there and say, yes, I know that what I think and what I believe about myself and my surroundings and what I'm going to achieve and succeed in is absolutely paramount to what it is that I succeed. How it is that I succeed. There we go. You are embracing this understanding and this knowledge. Now the swords, the Page of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Queen of Swords can also represent an air sign, a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini coming into your life. And for some of you, that's definitely true because you have it so prominently featured here. But what this is also saying is that you are knowing what you want. You're going from being a student to being a king or a queen. Kind of getting a greater understanding of things through the power of your beliefs, through the power of following your mind. Now you're going to be getting, some of you are going to be getting a message. It could be a physical message, it could be a spiritual message that helps you understand and gives you clarity of purpose, gives you clarity of thought, helps any decision that you have to make that you might be hemming and hawing over because we do have the Tower card here. So some major change is happening that is really going to impact you. It's a karmic change. It's something that you couldn't kind of run away from even if you wanted to. So you can't ever stop the Tower from entering into your life. You can't ever stop any of the major arcana cards, and you have 3 of them here, from entering into your life, but you can be prepared so you can best handle that energy. And it comes through knowing your mind, knowing that you are making the best decision for you and moving forward in this power of thought. Because the Magician here, you have the Magician and you have the High Priestess. They are pairing with each other. Okay, and you have 2 pairings here. So this is finding balance within yourself too. As above, so below. As you think it, as you believe it, so are you going to create it in your life. Understanding that you have all the gifts that you need to bring forth this prosperity, to bring forth this understanding. The wand here is like a magic wand. Well, it is a magic wand. It is bringing beauty of thought and intention and cultivating it and creating it in a tangible way. You also have here the sword, which means that you know your mind. The pentacles, wealth, prosperity, something you value as much as money, is coming into your life. And love. Love and joy. You have the purple, signifying majesty, the white, signifying purity of purpose, the gold, signifying richness of self. So by knowing your mind and staying true to your intentions, you are going to move forward in prosperity. It's almost saying here that you might have getting the strong opinion that there might be a way for you to start changing yourself little by little, and you're not taking it. So you're sitting there and saying, no, I'm going to be true to me. I'm not going to become what other people want me to be. I'm going to be who it is that I know that I am. And that's going to make you better, stronger. Not saying that you don't have any flexibility of self, because you need that in order to achieve your goals. But sitting there and being true to your mind, true to yourself, manifesting on this earthly plane exactly what it is that you desire. staying connected to what is most important to you. And you might say, Dane, I don't know what is most important to me. I don't know what I desire. In these 10 days, you are going to get at least a glimpse of it, at least a glimpse of what is truly, truly important to you, what it is that you need in order to achieve not only your best life, but your bliss, your purpose, the reason why you were put on this earth. And the change that is happening is going to make it more clear, because it's going to lift a veil from your eyes. And you're going to sit there and start to see the prosperity that you have, and maybe even for some of you, what has been taken for granted, what you didn't realize that you were cultivating and growing. Because you might have thought, okay, that's not going to help me move forward. But there's some prosperity that's coming in, something that you have been working on, whether you realize it or not. And you've planted the seeds, you've planted the intentions. You kind of have this feeling of what it is that you want, but you're going to know it even more as it starts to show in your life, as the fruits of your labor start to pay off, as the bounty starts to come in. And you're going to sit there and say, oh my goodness, I didn't realize. I didn't realize that I was patiently waiting for this to come into my life. I didn't realize that this was going to impact me so deeply. Because the change that is being shown here and the knowing of your own mind doesn't have to be so big. It could be something very small, but it has this huge impact that starts bringing forth your prosperity, that starts bringing forth your abundance. And then you have the King of Swords, cutting through doubts, cutting through fears, knowing your mind, but also guarding your mind. All right? He has armor over his head. The Queen of Swords has armor over her head. Guarding your thoughts, guarding your understanding, using your thoughts and your memories to guide you forward. Think Hunan and Munin in Norse mythology. Sitting there looking at things, kind of like a chessboard. Looking at things not just at the right now, because I think this is one of the main factors of these 10 days, that it's not only focusing in the moment, but you're focusing on what it is that you need to create, what it is that you are creating and cultivating, and it's not quite ready yet. It's almost as if you're creating something beautiful within your life, and that could just be you're creating a beautiful you to move forward, or you're manifesting something that you've always desired, but you may not have known that you always desired it. I know that sounds odd to say, but it is something that you have found out is completely dear to you. And now you're being a student of knowing what it is that you truly want, and then you're being a master of it, cutting through doubts and fears, cutting through any opposition, and finding that balance within yourself. Because the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords could mean that you find a person in your life who just you absolutely click with. But this is also finding balance within yourself. This balance, this understanding, this perfect blending of the masculine and the feminine coming together and making you feel as if, oh my gosh, I never knew that I could have this sense of feeling of completion, because you have the masculine form of bringing magic into the world, the magician. You have the feminine form, the high priestess. Relying on your own personal power, but also relying kind of on your faith. And it doesn't mean that you have to have a dogmatic faith, but you have to have a faith in yourself. Not have to, but having a faith within yourself to sit there and know that you are moving forward in the right direction, because things are changing quickly around you. And you're sitting there and you're kind of stepping back and saying, oh my goodness, how am I going to take this all in? How am I going to proceed forward as everything is changing? And it's saying that as this change comes, do step back just for a moment and take it all in. Gather your understanding, gather your knowledge, and then move forward in the way that brings you the most abundance, because the stags here are a representation of majesty. They are showing you that as things are moving forward, you are going to make the best choices for you to bring forth not only your prosperity, not only increase your sense of understanding of your purpose here on this earthly plane, but you're also moving forward towards your passion, your desire, what you want to create, how you want to be. But there's a power of the mind here, of the way you speak to yourself, of the way you treat yourself, that is extremely important, because you end with the Queen of Swords. Again, this is cutting through nonsense, cutting through any doubts, any fears. But this is also giving yourself freedom of self. Now, some people say that the King and the Queen of Swords are very harsh and not great court cards to get. I don't see that. They're representative of knowing your mind and staying firm in that belief. The Queen of Swords is the only queen who has armor on. There might be a time here where you can be a little bit biting in your reason, in your understanding, because you can see things a little bit more clearly than those around you. Don't let your desire to move forward harshen your words. Remember to talk kindly, to talk compassionately with those around you. This is definitely saying that in this time period, if there is something that happens, don't, get on the phone and start yelling or start texting angrily. Sit there, kind of take it all in, and then move forward. Then gauge your understanding. And move forward with the tongue not as sharp as it could be. With kindness and with respect at your center. But this is freedom of self. This is also needing independence. This is sitting there and setting yourself free. Now your clarifying cards are the Tower and the High Priestess. Both your clarifying cards are Major Arcana cards, divine cards, cards that are showing you and telling you that something major is going to be happening in these 10 days. Not in a harsh way, but in just a way to prepare you. And you have the Tower energy here, which is karmic debt coming into play, which is sitting there and saying, oh my goodness. You might be feeling as if your emotions are raging. You might be feeling as if everything has been turned on its head. Things are moving faster than maybe you wanted them to move. There's something that is happening within these 10 days that is causing you to kind of freak out just a little bit. Know that by steadying your mind and steadying yourself and saying, you know what, I have this under control, because you do, you're going to be okay. Don't let the Tower, take over the 10 days and make it into an overwhelming situation. And the karmic debt doesn't have to be something big. It could be something small that impacts you and moves and elevates your soul in a way that you hadn't expected, in a way that you hadn't anticipated before. Because the High Priestess is saying that you have the veil lifted from your eyes. You're moving forward with wisdom and vitality of self. You have your cauldron of plenty here, which means that you also, the cauldron of wisdom too, sitting there, and it's holding the elixir that you need to have fantastic insights, fantastic understanding. Trusting your intuition is astoundingly important. Knowing that silent waters run deep is kind of what you need to kind of be your motto right now. Kind of taking everything in and saying, okay, silent waters run deep. Taking everything in, balancing it in your mind, digesting it, understanding it, and then moving forward. Moving forward in wisdom and clarity of self. Always learning, always knowing more, justice and balance. Finding that within you, and then having that radiate outward. Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Something is going to happen that is going to make you want to be rather reactionary. To react and react. But you're being told here that the power of your mind is where your greatest strength is on these 10 days. Sitting there and knowing that your bounty is coming, that you have planted the seeds of good intentions. And not only good intentions, but prosperity. So, let's see here. Yeah. You're patiently waiting for your prosperity to come in. Your wealth, there's something you value as much as money, and you're sitting there and you're looking at it, and you are thinking, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, when is it going to come? Because it's still not ripe yet. The fruit isn't ripe yet. The pentacles aren't ready to come. The wealth isn't quite there yet, and you're thinking, when is it going to be your time? And you're getting a message of knowing your mind, knowing your understanding, knowing your prosperity is coming. Then things start to happen quickly. Okay? Things are going to start being shaken up. You might be working towards your prosperity, and then for some of you, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, something's going to come out of left field, and it's going to make you want to react, make you want to move quickly. Step back. Take it in. Don't react to everything quite yet. Be wise. Know that you have a divine right to yourself, because kings and queens are of divine right, chosen by the gods, God, however you look at it, the divine, the universe, to rule. Now you know your mind. Being firm like a king, being, well, the Queen of Swords is very firm too, but compassionate like a queen. Remember, atypical masculine and feminine energy. Having this come together in yourself. Staying firm of self, but flexible of mind and spirit. Cutting through the nonsense and setting yourself free. Because you have this bounty coming in, this way of understanding things, that is going to give you what you want. But you have to cultivate it, you have to create it, and the way that you are going to create it is through your mind. Through believing in yourself, the words that you speak, the way that you handle yourself is going to help you bring in the prosperity that you want. Clarity of mind, wealth, love. And wealth doesn't have to be just physical wealth, something you love as much as money coming into your life, or you value as much as money coming into your life, easing things. Through a situation that is going to be difficult, but is also going to grant you more wisdom and more understanding to yourself, lifting the veil off the eyes, having this kind of blending of wisdom that comes through age and the vitality of youth. The of course I can do it, I'm unstoppable of youth. Having those come together, because half of the High Priestess is an old lady and half of her is a young lady. So having that vitality of self come in, but knowing your mind, staying very firm to your convictions, but not in a overly stubborn, unyielding way, because there's something that you're learning that's going to be made more clear to you than ever before. As you embrace the karmic debt that's coming in, as you embrace this change that is coming into your life, as you see things more clearly, you're going to start manifesting what you greatly desire. It's going to be as if your patience is paying off and the wealth starts to come in, the prosperity, the joy, the happiness that comes. But just be patient with yourself. There's going to be a desire to want things to move quickly, but step back. Step back and know that through your patience comes your bounty. Right? And you're definitely either having this great understanding of self, this balancing of mind, this intertwining of the masculine and the feminine, or you're meeting somebody who matches you, probably in business. Yeah. Or in some way that you want to move forward in knowing more. This person is going to be of great assistance to you in your understanding. For some of you, you might form a romantic relationship. But right now, don't look for romance. Well, if you are desiring a partner, have your eyes open. But don't think that you have to have a romantic partner right at this time, because there's going to be a change that's going to happen that you need to embrace kind of your personal understanding. And you need to really focus on you more than you need to focus on giving your energy to somebody else, because there's an evolution of self that's happening here through knowing your mind, knowing your understanding, and being able to manifest on this earthly plane exactly what you desire. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness, and it was my pleasure to be able to convey this message to you. Bye.